Last night was the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Rogers Center. The Blue Jays did it right. They beat the Cardinals 3-1 in the first of three. Mike Matheny's Cardinals in town going through a rough stretch. Cardinals are 31-31, 5 games back in the National League Central. It's time to take a look at their lineup. Carpenter, Grichuk, Halladay, and then Alan Craig, the cleanup man. Over his last 16 games, he's putting together quite a streak. 324 average with 2 homers and 15 driven in, and right behind him, Johnny Peralta, longtime American leaguer, has big numbers against Mark Burley. A 298 average in 84 career at-bats against Burley. He's at 2 home runs and driven in 10. Mark Burley on the mound for just the second time against the Cardinals. Looking to win his 7th straight decision. He became baseball's first 10-game winner last Sunday when he beat the Kansas City Royals to run that record to 10-1. In interleague, he's 3-1 since joining Toronto's first matchup against the Cardinals since 2006. Barely misses with the first pitch, and we are underway. It is 20 degrees on an absolutely perfect day at Rogers Center. Matt Carpenter, leadoff man, was shut out last night. He was 0 for 3 with a pair of walks in the ballgame. Fouls this one back. Mark Burley grew up outside of St. Louis. He was a Cardinal fan growing up, and his favorite player was Todd Worrell, number 38, and for a long time he wore a necklace with that number 38 on his necklace. Doesn't throw like Todd Worrell. Not at all. Maybe that's why he liked him so much. Worrell could bring it. As a pop-up, it's playable. Tough Sunday here this afternoon, and Lind is battling the sun. He makes the catch, 1 down. A cloudless sky and a bright sun high over Rogers Center. That's what the defense is going to deal with today. It's Cabrera, Ghost, and Bautista in the outfield. Jose Bautista picked up his 6th outfield assist last night. Francisco, Reyes, Laurie, and Lynn around the infield from 3rd to 1st. Then Deanna Navarro and Mark Burley. They have teamed up very well all season long. 2 of the finest fielding teams in all of baseball here this afternoon. Brett Laurie at second base, showing his range last night and his arm, his athleticism, to take away a base hit from Yadier Molina. Boy, he looks good at second. Randall Grichuk batting in the second spot, playing in left field. And he pulls this one foul. You and I were talking about this before the game. Early on, it's going to be the center fielders and the left fielders, but the first baseman's also. When that ball's up in the air, you can see Adam Lind with the sunglasses shading his eyes. 2 hopper to short. Reyes throws out Grichuk, 2 down. Well, when you're playing behind Mark Burley, you better be set and ready to go, because he's going to put the ball in play. And you talk to all the Blue Jay infielders, and they love when Mark Burley is on the mound. He works quickly, one of the quickest in all of baseball, and he throws strikes. Left side of the infield, very important. The outfield, very important, because Burley is a fly ball pitcher. Matt Halladay, the DH this afternoon. You see he's got that protective elbow pad on that left arm. He goes after the first pitch. Little looper into center. Anthony Ghost runs it down. Quick hitting for Mark Burley. 8 pitches, and he dispatched the Cardinals in order. game. They won 3-1 on 11 hits. A couple of home runs by Bautista and Laurie. Take a look at the lineup for John Gibbons here this afternoon. Regular top of the order, Edwin Encarnacion's in the cleanup spot. Adam Lynn drops down into the 5th spot. Over his last 20 games, he's hit nearly 400. 26 for 68, 9 doubles, a home run, and 9 RBIs. And right behind him, another red-hot hitter, Brett Flory, with a 7-game hit streak. He's hit 3 home runs during those 7 games, including a missile shot over the center field wall here last night.
That is the lineup that Shelby Miller will face this afternoon and gets set to make his 13th start of 2014. His first career appearance against the Blue Jays. He's lost a career-high 3 straight starts, allowing 15 earned runs in those 3 starts. In interleague play, he's 2-4 with an ERA over 6. That's 7 career interleague starts for Shelby Miller.
Couple of different looks. It's Randall Grichuk in left field, Peter Borges, the former Angel, in center field, and Oscar Taveras in right. Matt Carpenter, Johnny Peralta on left side, veteran Mark Ellis at second base, Alan Craig is at first, and the catcher is Tony Cruz for a second day in a row.
Just his 9th start of the season. He's taken over for a 6-time Gold Glove winner, and Yadier Molina.
There's the first pitch in there to Jose Reyes. Reyes reached base 5 times last night. Had 2 walks and 3 singles. Had an RBI in the 8th. It's really interesting that a leadoff man would reach 5 times and not score a run.
Didn't score a run yesterday. That's the 10th time in Reyes' career that he has reached base 5 times in a game.
High fly ball to right. Second baseman Mark Ellis really having trouble with the sun, but he stays with it, makes a nice play. Mark Ellis was anxious to hear somebody else say, I got it.
There's no way that Taveras was going to come in and catch that ball. That's what he's looking up into right there over there at second base. The sun bright, but Mark Ellis is an outstanding defender. He had a streak of 102 consecutive games without making an error back in 2007 with the Oakland A's. He's a fine fielder.
Mark Ellis is now 37 years old. Had a birthday yesterday. Melky Cabrera. Cabrera looks at that first pitch and didn't like it. There's a fastball strike. 1-1 count. Shelby Miller's 23 years old. He was a first-round pick of the Cardinals in 2009. Made his first big league start October 3rd, 2012, the final day of the 2012 season. Those are his numbers from interleague play, and you can see the ERA 6.62 in 7 career interleague starts.
Yeah, he has had his problem in interleague, but you watch him and just his delivery really stands out. It's fluid, it's easy, he's got a nice loose arm. Ball really explodes out of his hand.
Charlie Miller, as Pat mentioned, has lost his last 3 starts after 5 in a row he won. He lost to Cincinnati, then lost to the Yankees at home and the Royals at home. And he was touched up for 15 earned runs. Bautista waits on deck.
That start against Kansas City was hot and did really well early on, and then not so well late in the ball game.
Low fastball, and Cabrera strikes out. So that'll bring the red-hot Jose Bautista to the plate. A .318 average, and that average has increased during this 12-game hit streak. He's hit .432 with an on-base percentage over 500. OPS over 1.1, and he's driven in 12 runs in 12 games.
He's just doing it all right now for the Blue Jays. Offensively, defensively, he's a leader. Yeah. Boy, he takes pitches. I don't know how he has seen the ball so well. Borderline pitches that he just lets go. Just has a great idea at the plate.
Pushed him back with that inside heater. It's 2-0. Miller won 15 games a year ago for the Cardinals, and we mentioned that was the most by a Cardinal rookie since 1967. Deep high fly ball to center. Peter Bourjos on the warning track at the wall makes the catch. Bautista just missing another homer. But the Blue Jays are retired in the first.
Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. And by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
It is Junior Jays Saturday, and Pat, we've got to sign up to play that game. That looks like fun. Lots of things going on outside the ballpark. A lot of kids on hand, and it's a gorgeous day. And Junior J Saturdays are always a huge success here at Rogers Center.
What were they doing in there? Were they getting pelted by balls?
There was a shooting gallery with wiffle balls.
I don't know if I want to be in there.
Oh, come on. Cleanup hitter is Alan Craig, the first baseman. Craig had an RBI single in the first in last night's game, and that was the only run the Cardinals would score. That was a terrific play by Bautista that cut down the second runner trying to score on that Craig single. He threw out Matt Holliday. That was his 6th outfield assist of the season.
Second in the American League behind Yoenis Cespedes, who has 7. Blue Jays were flashing some leather in that first inning, weren't they?
Brett Laurie made a terrific play on Yadier Molina to end the inning. That saved another run. Blue Jays have a lot of athleticism on the field, something that has been missing for a long time.
Well, especially up the middle. Now with Laurie at second, Reyes at shortstop, Anthony goes in center field. They've got athletes who can go and get the ball. Anthony has really impressed in center field.
Strike 3 call. Another called strikeout for Mark Burley. That's 27 called strike plays for Burley, and here's a guy that doesn't throw very hard.
You start looking for the ball outside, and then he cuts that ball on the inner half to those right-handers. He's been doing that all year long.
Plus the fact that you say to yourself as a hitter, wait. Oh, not that long.
And it's on you.
Yeah. Johnny Peralta. We mentioned his numbers against Mark Burley. He has 25 hits and 84 at-bats against Burley. These two know each other very well. Of course, Johnny Peralta played for the Cleveland Indians, and they had a lot of opportunities to play the White Sox, and that's where Burley pitched most of his career. Peralta played 8 years in Cleveland and then 4 more years in Detroit, so they have had a lot of opportunities to face one another.
And I couldn't tell you who has the advantage with all those at-bats. Is it the hitter or is it the pitcher, Burley? Burley is so smart, though. You know, he'll look at those numbers and he'll have an idea what he wants to do to Peralta. He won't pitch him the same way. He'll do something different. Maybe use the changeup a little bit more against Peralta.
Fastball that jammed Johnny Peralta. Easy play for Anthony Gose. 2 down. Well, Mark Burley throws the kitchen sink at you, and that'll have you indecisive at home plate.
Well, full fastball, 84 miles an hour, which is the lowest fastball velocity in baseball. He throws it 42% of the time, but he puts it in the mind of the hitters, and that makes his changeup, curveball, cutter, and the slider that much more effective. When you put fastball in their mind and you get them looking out over the plate, looking for something off speed, you can throw that heater at just 84 miles an hour for a strike.
The big difference for me this year is when he does miss with a pitch, it's off the plate, not in the middle.
Well, no question,
like that.
No question about it. He was getting stung last year by the home run ball early in the season. Right now, he's keeping it out of the middle, changing speeds. I think his curveball's better this year than what we saw last year.
Burley gave up 24 home runs a year ago. He's given up 2 so far this season. So when he misses this year, he's missing in good spots. Oscar Taveras, the rookie. He hit second in last night's game. He drops down into the 6th spot this afternoon. Big numbers with the AAA Memphis Cardinals. He takes a walk. That's something Burley just doesn't like whatsoever. He hates to give those free passes up. That's the first walk and the first base runner for the Cardinals. I went back and looked at Mark Burley's career, and among active pitchers, he's 3rd on the list of fewest walks per 9 innings. Dan Herron, Cliff Lee, and then Mark Burley. He's averaged just over 2.05 walks per 9 innings.
Does he have that reputation like a Cliff Lee or a Dan Herron? He doesn't have that reputation.
You really don't think of him. That's why it was surprising to see that. Dan Herron, Cliff Lee. You know Cliff Lee always throws fastballs over. But Burley certainly throws a lot of strikes as well. Mark Ellis, the second baseman. Ellis with almost 12 years of major league service. One and 2, and the Let's Go Blue Jay chant starts early this afternoon. Test out the rookie.
Yeah, he's not getting a very big lead over there. His reputation is out there. Mark Burley's ability to pick off runners.
Burley has 96 pickoffs in 15 years. And he'll get you to do that all afternoon. Boy, I hit it good. Just about a foot foul.
He does that to the right-handers. He cuts that BP fastball in on their hands, and they yank it foul for a strike. You get right-handers thinking like that they're going to try and pull him, and then he just eats you up on a ball away.
Ellis appeared to have something in his eye. He asked for time. Wants to get reset. He knows you got to be ready to pull the trigger when you step in against Burley. Mark reached back for a little extra on that pitch. Threw it 85. Full count, 2 outs. Peter Borges on deck. He's the number 8 hitter for the Cardinals. Taveras at first. They're going to hold him on. He can run. Full count, 2 outs. On the ground, and Reyes can't make the play. Base hit for Mark Ellis. When you look at Mark Buehrle's record this year, he's 10-1, but this hot streak goes even deeper than that. You go all the way back to last July 25th.
Look at the numbers that he has put up since July. 17-4 with a 2.6 earned run average, and it just has to do with throwing better quality pitches, keeping the ball down and changing speeds. That's what he has done since then. 3 earned runs or less in 22 of those games. You're going to win a lot of games when you pitch like that.
Well, especially when you pitch for an offensive team like the Blue Jays. You're going to put up crooked numbers every single night. Peter Borges, he came to the Cardinals in a deal that sent David Freese out to Anaheim. He fouls it back, and Buehrle's quickly ahead 0-2. Borges spent 3 years with the Angels. He led the American League in 2011 with 11 triples. He can run.
Oh, he can run. He's a great defender in the outfield.
Way outside. Buehrle gave up a 2-out walk to Oscar Taveras, and Mark Ellis hit a ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Borges strikes out. Buehrle's second strikeout of the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Big bats in the Blue Jays lineup. Edwin Encarnacion, Adam Lind, and then Brett Lawrie. He tied his career high last night with his 11th home run. The Blue Jays would like to congratulate the 2014 induction class of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Inductees include Dave Van Horn, Jim Ridley, Murray Cook, and Tim Wallach. Induction ceremonies will be held on Saturday, June 21st in St. Mary's, Ontario. Visit baseballlhalloffame.ca for more information. Congratulations to all the inductees into this year's class of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Edwin Encarnacion is hitting in the 4th spot tonight, and it's kind of surprising. Why is Encarnacion ahead of Lind as opposed to the way they hit last night?
Well, they split up the right-handers, Bautista and Encarnacion, by sliding Lind in there the last couple of days against the right-hander. But John Gibbons looked at who was going to be hitting behind Encarnacion, and Francisco had 4 at-bats against Miller, and he struck out 4 times. He wanted Lind, a hotter hitter, to hit behind Edwin this afternoon to protect him a little bit more.
0-2. It's a high pop. Ellis again looking directly into that sun, tries to play it off to the side, and he did.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic. Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, after you come down to the ballpark, you can walk down to the lake shore and take a look at that beautiful view. A lot of people are out and about, going across to Center Island, enjoying the great weather here in Toronto. First pitch strike to Adam Lind. Mentioned Lynn's last 20 games, he's hit .282 with 9 home runs and 9 doubles and 9 RBIs. He falls behind 0-1.
In every one of these Blue Jay hitters, except Juan Francisco, this is the first time that they're facing Shelby Miller, so they're trying to get an idea of his fastball, the depth of his breaking ball. First time through the lineup, you'll see a lot of them take a lot of pitches and just get a good read on the right-hander.
Francisco, of course, played in the National League, so he has a couple of at-bats against Miller, not a lot. But he's the only Blue Jay that has faced him. One and two to Adam Lind. Just outside. Boy, the Blue Jays just won't fish. They won't go after that borderline pitch. You mentioned the ability to determine swing or take, and they've been consistent.
I think if you're thinking back through the middle, something that a lot of these hitters are doing, it'll allow you to take that borderline pitch.
Mark Ellis waits on that second hop and throws out Lind. 2 down. Shelby Miller, just 23 years old, but he's developed a pretty good arsenal of weapons.
He's got a fine arm. Fastball 72% of the time. The curve cutter and the changeup that he'll use also. That changeup's got deception. It can fade and sink. Cutter that he picked up late in the 2013 season. His curveball very underrated also from Shelby Miller. He is a fine pitcher, a fine prospect. You mentioned the 15 wins last year by Miller as a rookie.
Most since 1967 for the Cardinals when Dick Hughes won 16. It's a long stretch for an organization that's always developed good young pitching.
Well, their last couple of years, the Cardinals have done a great job of drafting, developing, and bringing to the big leagues young pitchers with high upside.
Ball on a strike to Brett Lawrie.
Miller was a high school draft pick, wasn't he?
Drafted in the first round of 2009 out of Brownwood High School in Abilene, Texas. Cardinals really never bought into the high school pitcher draft, but he was the first pitcher drafted first by the Cardinals since '91. Oscar Taveras backs up. The inning is over. Shelby Miller has retired 6 in a row to start his game. Access to over 100 of the world's best magazines on your tablet. Baseball fans, sign up at nextissues.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. Take all those great magazines with you wherever you go. An opportunity to keep up to speed on all your favorite hobbies. Scoreless game. We head to the top of the third. Tony Cruz, the catcher, catching 2 games in a row. Spoke to Mike Matheny about Yadier Molina, his all-star Gold Glove catcher. Asked if anything was wrong with Molina. He said he's just a little bit frazzled right now. He is a very intense competitor. The team is not playing well. He's not particularly swinging the bat well right now, and I thought he could use just an off day. Every once in a while, players need that mental break.
Day game after a night game, especially an intense player like Molina is, and a guy who's used to winning. Cardinals have been really struggling of late, taking it a little bit too hard. Give him that day off. I'm sure he'll be back in there tomorrow afternoon.
Burley falls behind 3-0 to the number 9 hitter. That's not going to set well with him. And high cutter right at the top of the zone. There's Yadier Molina. 6-time Gold Glover, 5-time All-Star, and he's become a terrific offensive player to go along with his great defensive skills. Of course, he is the youngest of the 3 Molina brothers.
Reading some articles from the St. Louis newspapers about him. He says he's been hitting the ball, just hasn't had much to show for it lately. So I know how that can be frustrating. It can wear on you mentally.
I never had that problem. Never hit that many balls hard. Ball 4. Burley walks his second man already this afternoon. Leadoff walk here in the third. Burley likes to work quickly. I mean, you look at the time between pitches among the American League and Major League pitchers. Burley is tops, and he's followed by his teammate R.A. Dickey, who works quickly. Wade Miley of the Diamondbacks and Michael Wacha of the Cardinals. Blue Jays miss Wacha and Wainwright in this series.
And that's a good thing. And reason why Burley works so quickly, he's just a fast guy. He's always thinking, but he leaves the thinking of the game to the catcher. Never shakes off the catcher, lets him call the game. So it's give me a sign and let's roll.
Gianna Navarro and Burley really clicked early in spring training. Had a first couple of outings, and Navarro knew the reputation of Burley, having faced him before, so he understood that he had to give the signs quickly. But they have really clicked this season. Why is it that Burley would just as soon not shake off signs?
I think he has talked about that. He just wants to concentrate on executing his pitches and making the pitches and let the game calling and everything like that go with the catcher. He don't want to be bothered by setting up hitters. Let the catcher figure that out.
He never goes to pitcher meetings. He never goes over a lineup. He said the catcher can do that. I'll just worry about executing pitches, and it's really not a bad idea. He doesn't have to think about theory. He just has to think about execution. Now,
that doesn't mean that they don't get together and they talk before the game or what they want to do in certain situations.
Another called strikeout. Second one of the ball game. 3 strikeouts so far for Burley. He gets Matt Carpenter looking.
That one right there against Matt Carpenter looked like he threw another cutter right on the outside corner. That's where he's got to be.
Burley, for his career, has averaged almost a double play per game. He keeps the ball on the ground and keeps hitters off stride, and he'll get a lot of ground ball double plays. Randall Grichuk, the left fielder, takes his strike. Grichuk came to the Cardinals along with Peter Borges in the David Freese trade. He's an interesting study in that he was picked one slot ahead of Mike Trout by the Angels. This has popped up. Reyes, the shortstop, moving underneath it, and he makes the catch. Pitchick is retired, 2 down.
The 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Number 3 hitter is the DH, Matt Holliday. Holliday got hit on that big left bicep last night, right on the back of his arm by Marcus Stroman. Oh, he got hit hard.
Probably wishes it was Mark Burley who hit him on that elbow instead of Marcus Stroman. Marcus was throwing 95 last night.
Stroman went into the 7th inning. Gave up 1 run on 7 hits, walked a couple and struck out 7, earned his 3rd win of the season against no losses. 2nd consecutive win as a starter. Got on and missed. Marcus Stroman, day after a pitcher starts, he'll do a lot of running to get all that lactic acid out of your body, and he was running the stairs here early this morning.
That's a good sign to see a young player out there working the day after he pitches into the 7th inning. Keep those legs nice and strong.
Another called strike 3. Holliday caught on the inside corner. 2 strikeouts in the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, scoreless. Draft in Major League Baseball, and these 2 pitchers, Shelby Miller on the left, Drew Hutchison on the right, were both picked in the 2009 draft. Miller was taken by the Cardinals in the 1st round, 19th overall. Drew Hutchison dropped to the 15th round because everyone thought he was going to go to college and pitch at Stetson University.
I'll take both of them on my team. Drew Hutchison, that's the thing about it. You got to have scouts who can recognize major league talent. Guys, when they're 18 years old, what are they going to be like when they fill out and grow up and get just a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little smarter? 2 guys that came from different parts of the draft, but here in the big leagues and successful.
Shelby Miller came out of Abilene, Texas, and Drew Hutchison was in Lakeland, Florida. It didn't hurt Hutchinson's lot at all that he had a teammate named Chris Sale. So the scouts would always come to watch Sale and Hutchison at the same time, but they both got a lot of exposure. Sale chose to go to college, and Hutchison signed with the Blue Jays. Juan Francisco goes after the first pitch. He has 4 at-bats against Shelby Miller, and as Pat mentioned, he has 4 strikeouts. So let me ask you this, Mr. Hitter. Is 4 strikeouts better than no appearances against a pitcher?
4 strikeouts better than no appearances?
He's got a little bit of knowledge,
Absolutely.
but none of it's good.
No success. So he's due, right? Yeah, he has an idea how he spins that breaking ball or how he tries to pitch him. That time he missed his spot. He wanted to go up and away with that fastball. So he has an idea of what Miller's going to try and do to him. Looks like it's high heat and then maybe a breaking ball in the dirt. Big difference between 4 at-bats and 4 Ks and never facing them before.
0-2. Trying to get that ball upstairs, but it was way outside.
Plus, you say as a hitter, right? If you're facing a Roger Clemens or a Tom Seaver and you're 0 for 4, it's like, it's my turn to get him. I'm going to get this guy.
There were a lot of guys that faced those 2 guys that are still thinking that.
Batting now, number 30, Navarro.
It's Junior J's Saturday, presented by Boston Pizza. And as you can hear, the Junior J's get to announce the lineups today. Just one of the many fun activities taking place on Junior J's Saturdays, presented by Boston Pizza. Got to be a thrill for that youngster up there in the PA booth announcing the lineup. Counter Navarro takes the first pitch strike. Navarro has done exactly what the Blue Jays had hoped. He's provided consistent at-bats at the plate. And he's been a pretty good game caller, especially with Mark Burley. Plus, they have been able to utilize 3 catchers, and it's probably benefited Navarro in that mix.
That's rare. That teams will carry 3 catchers, and those catchers don't play other positions. They're just catchers. But John Gibbons has done a good job of using some as a DH. He'll DH Navarro on days to give him rest. Use Eric Kratz against certain pitchers. Of course, Josh Tolley will catch R.A. Dickey. Usually, if you carry 3 catchers, one of them will play another position to help you out.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. You said just catchers. I mean, come on. What do you mean just catchers?
Well, they're such great athletes that they can play other positions, you know, like first base.
They're only catchers. They've all done a nice job, and they have done different things to help John Gibbons. And Eric Kratz has got a little thunder in his bat. He's a threat coming off the bench. Another high fly ball hit into the outfield. Tavares gives way to the center fielder Peter Borges, who calls him off. 2 down. So Anthony Gose, the center fielder, will step in the box. Gose has had some good at-bats of late. He was on base 3 times last night. He tripled, reached on an air and single in his first 3 at-bats and struck out in the 8th. Finished up 2 for 4 in that ball game. It is something to watch when Gose hits one into the alleys here at Rogers Center and watch him run the bases. That triple last night came in the 2nd inning. It's a little looper. This is trouble. Johnny Peralta's is back. He's able to make the catch. Quick inning for Shelby Miller. 9 up, 9 down for Miller to start this game. Foundation Home Runs Challenge is right around the corner. And here to tell us more about it is the founder and chairman of Prostate Cancer Foundation and a prostate cancer survivor himself, Michael Milken. Michael, great to see you again.
It's fantastic to be here. What a beautiful day in Toronto. And it's also fantastic to be with the #1 home run hitting team in the major leagues, right?
They can hit some home runs, that's for sure. Tell us about this week and upcoming Father's Day, how Major League Baseball has been involved.
Well, beginning 18 years ago, the idea was keep Dad in the game. Come out to this beautiful ballpark and get yourself checked for prostate cancer, that simple blood test. And that was the idea. Remind your dad, come out with your coworker, etc. And the most exciting play, the home run, we raised money for every home run hit.
Well, the Blue Jays have done their share then in bringing awareness to cancer, prostate cancer awareness. How do the fans get involved in this, and how can they help out, Mike?
You can go to homerunchallenge.org, and pledge money for every home run that will be hit in the major leagues between June 9th and Father's Day the 15th. 100% of the money you pledge stays in Canada. And we've raised about $3 million over the years from Toronto Blue Jays home runs, then got those matched at 20-1. So
wow.
$60 million. And once again, all the money that people give, so it's tax deductible, stays right here in the great universities you have in Canada. 2 of the leading bioscience universities in the world are one University of Toronto and 2 University of British Columbia. And so some of the most advanced work done in basic research for cancer is being done in those institutions and others around Canada.
Michael, can you tell us how close we are to finding a cure?
Well, let's give the good news first. Since we started this, the death rate has dropped by more than 50% from projected levels. So that's the good news. And it's due to, one, the fantastic Toronto Blue Jays and Major League Baseball and awareness that's been created so people get early detection, and 2, new therapies. And those new therapies, there's 6 new drugs approved. So men that used to die, things like a drug named abiraterone now is pretty much a cure for about 25% of those people. So the research has never been better, and I think we're only about 5 years away from where we'll be talking about prostate cancer as a chronic disease, not a disease that takes your life.
And it's an easy test, isn't it?
That simple blood test, just like your cholesterol, and there's really no excuse not to have that simple test. And the treatments have changed dramatically. In the form of surgery, it's now minimally invasive, robotic, and you're probably only in the hospital for 2 days. And recovery is very quick, 2 to 4 weeks. And so these advancements have changed it. But the #1 key here is we've identified that there's 27 or 28 different forms of prostate cancer. And so you're going to be treated for your prostate cancer, not prostate cancer. And one of the exciting things about that is in about 1/4 of the cases, that prostate cancer doesn't go anywhere. And therefore the treatment is doing nothing. And so a number of people have been treated who will not have to be treated in the future. But it is an amazing thing. In North America today, there's more than 15 million people who've had cancer living normal lives. And so going to the homerunchallenge.org, every home run hit. Now, as you know, we had a lot more home runs hit in the year 2000 than we do today. You know, that year we had 160 hit. They were hitting 2.5 home runs per ball game. Today in the majors, you're probably closer to 1.5 per game. But that was an amazing year. We've had to adjust by adding more games to the schedule.
Can I ask you one more about the test? When should you be tested?
I think that's a really important question. I was diagnosed when I was 45 years old, had absolutely no symptoms, and would definitely not be sitting with you today since it had spread throughout my body had I not had that simple blood test. For me, it's 40. The recommendation is 50. If you're an African American or any family history, 40. 1 in 6 men in North America will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their life, and 1 in 2 men in North America get cancer, 1 in 3 women. And if you've had a family member, a father, a grandfather, a brother, a first cousin, a nephew, an uncle, then your probability doubles to 1 in 3, and you should definitely get that simple test at 40 years old. But it's been amazing seeing the Blue Jays over the years, traveling around, and coming here to Toronto today was fantastic. And I'm particularly excited, Pat, because you were such a clutch hitter that we're hoping today that clutch hitting will get us home runs.
Hopefully the team wearing the blue is going to do that too.
Well, they're
in tough against this guy today.
Both of them have good pitchers on the mound today. But we have today for this game, an individual is giving us $200,000 for every home run hit by the Toronto Blue Jays. So if we can get that 20-1, that'll be $4 million for research here in Canada.
Michael, I'm going to run down and tell him in the dugout that, all right? We got to wake him up a little bit. Oh, what a nice play by Lynn. Over by the wall, he makes a nice grab. Well, Michael Milken, I got to thank you for your...
He looked like a split receiver there, didn't he?
Yep, he did.
And I also want to mention 2 things. You know, as I travel around, I always talk to people about what organizations they like. And, you know, Paul Beeston here, I had a person in Chicago yesterday tell me he's the best in baseball. And whether it was at Major League Baseball, and it filters through the organization. I had the great honor of being able to finance Ted Rogers as he was building his company many years ago. What a wonderful person he was. And I think it's time for the Blue Jays to get back in the World Series.
It's time. It's been too long.
But one of the great things about living in Toronto is the great research, medical research that goes on in this area. And people don't really realize that more than 50% of all economic growth comes from medical research and public health. And the extension of life and the increase in the quality of life has been amazing. And we're all old enough to remember when someone told you you had cancer that you think, oh, maybe the person will be passing away. Today, for most of the people, you have treatment in a normal life. And my sister-in-law, Leah, was born here in Toronto, and she's been challenged with cancer diagnosis, so I just want to say hello to her today and wish her the best.
That's awesome. Well, Michael, we thank you for your work. You're raising awareness and making men understand that it's not bad to get checked out, and it might help them as well. But thanks again for all your help. Great to see you again, and continued success in spreading the word. And
we want to see those guys in those blue uniforms like I'm wearing today running around the bases here.
That ball goes off Mark Burley, and all hands are going to be safe. But once again, thank you so much for all your fine efforts, and we will continue to look for the Prostate Cancer Awareness Program and look forward to Father's Day.
And we particularly want to see you wearing these blue
We will have them on Sunday for sure.
On Sunday. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Continued success.
Bye-bye,
Michael. Here is the replay. Burley, a fine fielder, takes this one. It looks like he's got a play, but that spongy turf makes that ball bounce away from it, and it's an infield single for Borges.
So the bases are loaded, 2 outs. Still no score in the ball game. Tony Cruz, the number 9 hitter. He walked to start the 3rd inning. Burley's got a pitch out of a jam here.
This has been the part of the lineup that so far in this ball game has given him problems. Taveras has been on base a couple of times. Ellis has been on base 1 time, and now Borges with the infield single.
Ball on the strike. Just enough movement to take it under the bat.
If he can get that cutter working like that, he can get it under the bat. But he's got ways to get you out. He can throw that changeup. His curveball, he hasn't thrown too many curveballs this afternoon, but that cutter right there really got under his back.
Everything away, everything inside, and now he's got him set up for something down and away.
And he's got a couple of options to do that. We've seen Mark so far this year backdoor that cutter to the right-handers, meaning he'll start it off the plate and catch that outside corner, or he could try a changeup. Ball that can go down and away from Cruz.
On the ground, Francisco at third. They go to second, and that'll end the inning. Burley pitches out of it. Cardinals can't cash in. They have the bases loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. It's still a scoreless game. .ca. They cover every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Shai Davidi takes you beyond the bases with in-depth analysis and expert opinion. Shai Davidi, MLB Insider only on Sportsnet.ca. Shai's hard at it, working again to gather information, pass along to you, and you can check that all out. It's MLB Insiders at Sportsnet.ca. Mark Burley once again did a terrific job. That is exactly what has gone wrong for the Cardinals this year. Hitting with runners in scoring position. Last year as a team they hit .330. This year coming into this game .236. 100 points difference in 1 year.
And everybody contributed last year for the Cardinals. They came up with big hits. Guys would come off the bench and come up with big base hits. This year, that's something that has been missing from them.
Blue Jays looking for their first base runner. 9 up, 9 down so far for Shelby Miller. Reyes popped out to the second baseman his first time up. Fly ball to right. Oscar Taveras coming in. 1 down.
The film event you've been waiting for has finally arrived. Don't miss DreamWorks How to Train Your Dragon 2 in theaters Friday.
Junior Jays Saturdays, a lot of activities outside the ballpark before the game starts, and a lot of kids coming early to have a good time. And you can't ask for a nicer day. Melky Cabrera struck out his first time up. Shows bunt, takes it upstairs. Bouncing ball, big hop for Mark Ellis at second. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth. Jose Bautista has 15 home runs this season. He's a 2-time home run champ. If you go back to 2010, he's got the best at-bat per home run ratio in baseball.
At fewer games also. Remember, he's been hurt the last couple of years with that wrist injury. Better than some of those other giant sluggers in Stanton, Cabrera, and Davis. Just missed a home run in his first at-bat. He sent Borges right to the wall in center field.
Miller and Cruz couldn't quite agree on the pitch to Bautista. There's that curveball in there for a strike. Spirits are starting to pick up around Rogers Center. 33,000 last night. Good crowd again tonight. This afternoon is Blue Jays starting to gather some momentum from the fan base. Blue Jays are now 14 games over 500, 6 games up in the American League East.
You see people around town and they're always stopping you and talking to you about the Blue Jays. The excitement is starting to get pretty high here. You know what I keep telling them? It's a long year. Do you know we have about 100 games to play in? It's a long season.
This game today, with it being number 63, right at 100. Bounce to the shortstop. Peralta takes his time. 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays still looking for their first base runner. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Matt Carpenter will lead things off for the Cardinals in their half of the fifth inning, and he has been a 300 hitter throughout most of his professional career. And you look at his spray chart for the 2014 season, there's no place to defend him. His 302 average, he uses the whole field.
Yeah, how do you defend him? You got to play him straight up, maybe bunch him in the middle. He'll go to left, he'll go to center, go to right. And he's got some pop also. He's hitting over 300. He hit over 300 last year. 55 doubles last year for Matt Carpenter.
Had 55 doubles, 7 triples, and 11 home runs. Plenty of extra base power. Ball on a strike to Carpenter. Mark Burley has pitched out of some trouble early in this game. The Cardinals have stranded 6 base runners so far, including the bases loaded in the 4th. Another strikeout for Burley.
Canon's Best in Glass sales event. Performance cameras and lenses at the season's best prices. Visit canon.ca/bestinglass.
Grichuk goes after the first pitch and hits it deep to center and gone. A 1-out home run for Grichuk, his first of the season.
He hit 22 home runs last year in the minor leagues. He's got some power, and that time shows it off right there. It looked like a cutter on the back door over the middle of the plate, and Grichuk goes down and gets it.
First big league home run comes against Mark Burley. First run of the ball game. The straightaway center field.
He had an outstanding year last year in Double-A for the Los Angeles Angels Double-A team in the Texas League, and that's why the Cardinals traded for him. You mentioned it his last time up. He has the distinction of being drafted ahead of Mike Trout when the Angels had 2 draft picks that year.
Yeah, they had back-to-back draft picks. He was picked ahead of Mike Trout. He was a compensation pick for the Angels losing Francisco Rodriguez. They lost K-Rod to the Mets, and they picked up that extra pick, and they picked Grichuk in it. He was the 24th pick overall, and Mike Trout was 25th. He can always tell his grandkids that. Yeah, I was picked ahead of Mike Trout in the draft. Matt Holliday fouls it back.
Well, when you hit your first big league home run, you'll see this every now and then. The silent treatment. Nobody going up to give him the high five. All right, there you go, Matt Carpenter.
Nothing like it. Memories of your first big league home run. Comes in a scoreless game. 3-2 to Matt Holliday. Alan Craig, the cleanup hitter, is on deck. Another walk for Burley. That's 4 walks this afternoon. Burley needs a double play. Burley's thrown 88 pitches.
Yeah, he had that quick first inning. I think he had like 8 pitches in the first inning. The Cardinals have really made him work. John Gibbons doesn't go very much farther past 100 pitches with Mark Burley.
Burley walked a season high 5 against the Angels over 6 innings. Ground ball. Quickly to second. Laurie, good pivot. There's the double play. That ends the inning. Burley is out of it, but the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead on Randal Grichuk's first big league homer. big comfy green chairs in the TV comfort zone are guest of TD. Great afternoon to come to the old ballpark and enjoy those beautiful, comfortable chairs. And while over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are folks from Challenger Baseball. Welcome to the ballpark, and it is a gorgeous day. The Jays find themselves trailing 1-0. 1 run for this Blue Jays offense is nothing. The way they can put up crooked numbers in a heartbeat, but right now they're looking for their first baseman.
They got to figure out Shelby Miller right now. He's keeping his fastball down. Hasn't made too many mistakes with his fastball. He's mixed in a curveball every now and then, a little cutter/slider that he has. He's put it in a good spot. So this is a lot like his last start against the Kansas City Royals, where he cruised through the first 6 innings, just gave up 2 measly singles, and then gave up 4 runs in the 7th.
Alex Gordon hit a leadoff home run in the top of the 7th to start the onslaught, and he never could recover. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for the Jays here in the bottom of the 5th. Edwin Encarnacion DHing again this afternoon. He was the DH in last night's game. Did not play Thursday afternoon in Detroit against the Tigers. You got to believe that Kevin Seitzer's over there in that baseball laboratory trying to figure out some sort of formula to get to Shelby Miller.
Yeah, that's the tough part about interleague play, when you don't face pitchers like you do when you're facing them every single time you're within your division. So you just have to hope he makes a mistake and grind it out the first couple of at-bats.
Up shallow center field. Peter Borges coming in, stays with it and makes the grab. 1 down. Mentioned Shelby Miller, 15-game winner last year, and these are the rookie wins last season. Hyunjin Ryu of the Dodgers had 14, Tehran of the Braves with 14, and then Jose Fernandez and Willie Peralta. But Shelby Miller did a job for the Cardinals. But they left him off the playoff roster. That was kind of unusual.
Well, their first round was against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Pirates have given Shelby Miller problems in the past. So the thought was, he's thrown a lot of innings, he's won a lot of games, let's leave him off the roster. And things started clicking for him, and clicked all the way to the World Series.
Yeah, the thought process was, once we get by the Cardinals or by the Pirates, we'll activate Shelby Miller. But they got so hot, and they said, you know what, we don't want to mess with anything. So he was off the postseason roster.
And to Shelby's credit, he did a good job of handling that. A lot of times young players won't understand that hey, I won 15 games for you, I can't finish out the season. Did a good job of handling that.
It happens from time to time, and it happened with the Blue Jays in 1985. Jim Clancy had a good season in '85 and did not pitch in the postseason against Kansas City. Happened to me in Kansas City in 1976. We had a pitcher named Al Fitzmaurice who won 16 games, and he didn't pitch in the postseason. Just a bad matchup.
I bet it happens more than we know.
Well, first of all, you figure that you can get by with 3 starters most of the time. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Adam Linden. Shelby Miller has retired 13 straight. Full count.
He keeps pumping that fastball away from Lind. He's one of the better breaking ball hitters in the American League, Lind. So he has kept that fastball away from him.
Blue Jays trail 1-0. Lynn stays alive. That pitch was a tough spot.
Look where all those pitchers are on pitch track. They're going to stay away from them. Fastballs. Down and away. Up and away. Down, down, down. But everything away. That might be pitching right into Adam Lynn's strength.
We have seen Lynn drive some balls away. 4, he'll take the walk. That's the first base runner for the Blue Jays this afternoon. That's a start. Take a look at the American League East standings, and it's a good picture for the Blue Jays. They are 6 games up on the second-place Yankees. The Orioles lost last night to Oakland in extra innings. So the Yankees have leapfrogged over Baltimore, Boston 10 back. Interesting number for the Rays. They are way back in the loss column, 14 back in the loss column. That's a tough number to overcome.
Yeah, even with that great pitching staff, they just had that 10-game losing streak end yesterday.
Tony Cruz, the catcher, going to go out there after Miller walked Lynn. That's the first base runner he has allowed this afternoon. Then he missed with the first pitch to Laurie. Just an opportunity to go out there and say, okay, now the perfect game's down. Let's just concentrate on making good pitches. We got to protect this 1-0 lead.
Let's see what you can do out of the stretch now. First time this afternoon that we've seen Shelby Miller pitch out of the stretch.
Shelby Miller is the only pitcher in Cardinals franchise history to retire 27 straight batters in a single game. He did that last year in Colorado. 2 outs in the 9th inning, he gave up a single and then got the next batter out. Pitched a 1-hitter, struck out 13, didn't walk a batter. Eric Young was the only guy that got a hit. Bouncing ball. Nice play by Craig. Just in time to give Laurie a terrific effort by Alan Craig. That ball looked like it was going to bounce over him. And now John Gibbons is out of the Blue Jays dugout. Laurie, as he always does, hustles up the line and made it close at first.
Yeah, he'll get his share of infield hits. That one looked like it was heading to right field, but a great play by Craig at first base. He holds the runner on at first, and then his momentum takes him right into that play. Watch for this ball. High bounce, goes up, no chance to get Lind at second base, but right away finds his pitcher to record the out over at first base. If that ball gets by him, you can see it's clearly out. If that ball gets by Craig, Lind's going to be able to go to third because it wasn't hit that hard.
Good job by both Alan Craig and the pitcher Shelby Miller. Craig not only did he make a nice grab, but took his time, didn't panic, and led the pitcher perfectly to retire Laurie. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Shelby Miller has really bowed his neck in these situations. Runners in scoring position 192. Scoring position in 2 outs 130. Fly ball into center. Borges on the run, on the track, at the wall, hauls it in. Jose Bautista pushed Borges to the wall in center. Francisco does the same. Good defense behind Shelby Miller. It's still a 1-0 game, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Junior Jays Saturdays are presented by Boston Pizza. The next Junior Jays Saturday will take place Saturday, June 28th, and the Blue Jays take on the Chicago White Sox. It's a 107 start. There are special kids prize tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. So make sure you call the Blue Jays and get your tickets at 416-341-1234 or log online at bluejays.com. It's a 1-0 ball game. We are in the 6th inning. Johnny Peralta would lead things off. Mark Burley falls behind 2-0. Burley has walked 4 this afternoon. That's one off his season high. Three and one.
Just a tick off this afternoon, Mark Burley. But you know what he does? Veteran. He knows he doesn't have his pinpoint control, but he's keeping his team in the ballgame, giving them a chance.
It's a 1-0 game, despite 5 walks now.
Finger cooked tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at bostonpizza.com. Proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Leadoff walk issued to Johnny Peralta. Oscar Taveras has walked twice this afternoon. He's the batter. Burley comes back with a strike. You mentioned Mark Burley doesn't have his A-game command, but here he is in a 1-0 game in the 6th.
Pitching against the guy who's throwing a no hitter, so he's got to keep it right here.
Pulled to Lynn. Lynn will go to Reyes at second, back to first. Double play. That erases the leadoff walk. Nice play by Adam Lynn to start the double play.
You come off that bag, you're only about, well, you're less than 90 feet away, so you better be ready. Hit right to Lynn's glove side. As soon as he caught it and made the good throw, it was going to be a 3-6-3 double play.
Second double play of the afternoon. Mark Ellis, second baseman. You know what? Isn't it interesting? We talk about Burley. Well, he doesn't have great stuff today, and here it is, 1-0 game. And the Blue Jays, you know they're going to score. They have been scoring at a hefty rate all season long.
They had base runners all night long. Last night, just could only score a couple of solo home runs and then a base hit by Reyes. They've sent Borges to the wall a couple of times, just came that close to hitting the ball out.
The Blue Jays stranded 12 base runners in that 3-1 win last night. They were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They had plenty of opportunities. That's not the case today. Shelby Miller has been terrific.
Yeah.
There's a fly ball into center. Anthony Gose jogging over to his left. Quick inning for Burley. Pitches around the leadoff walk. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be 8-9-1. It's Deanna Navarro, Anthony Gose, then back to the top of the order. Join the conversation after every game. Mike Wilner, host of Blue Jays Talk, delivers insight and debate. Blue Jays Talk after the game on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Lots to talk about today. Shelby Miller is certainly going to be a topic of conversation. He has no-hit the Blue Jays through 5 innings. Only one base runner, Lind, with a 1-out walk in the 5th. So it'll be 8-9-1 for the Jays here in the 6th. Randall Grichuk, a solo home run, his first big league home run, the only run in the ball game. Another high fly ball, easy play for Peter Borges, the center fielder. 1 down.
The 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
There have been 9 fly ball outs in this game this afternoon. Blue Jays have just missed a couple of them.
Well, he's thrown great pitches. Now he's got to be careful with Ghost. You can see the infield has really shortened up. They haven't had a hit yet. Only have one base runner. Ghost can bunt. Maybe turn this lineup over right here and get something started.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Anthony had a 2-hit game last night. Two and one. Ghost is late on that fastball. We mentioned that Shelby Miller is from Brownwood High School in Abilene, Texas, up in the panhandle of Texas. He was drafted out of high school in the 1st round. Texas has always produced hard-throwing big pitchers. Of course, Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens are the prototypical Texas big right-handers. Bouncing ball, big hop for Mark Ellis, and Ghost is retired. Crowd on hand on this Junior Jays Saturday. 42,981. Nice turnout. They had 33,000 last night. Cardinals are in town, the reigning National League champs. The Blue Jays playing great baseball. So why not make plans to come out tomorrow?
Yeah, just beautiful down here. Beautiful weather. Great ball club. A lot of excitement, a lot of fun. And tomorrow is Jose's day. Jose Reyes.
Jose Reyes bobblehead giveaway will take place tomorrow. Reyes has gone 0 for 2. A whole bunch of 0-fers in the lineup for the Blue Jays. They haven't had a hit yet. We mentioned the Brownwood High School in Abilene, Texas. Miller is not the only pitcher to come out of that high school. A fellow named Jerry Don Gleaton pitched in the big leagues, and another fellow named Jim Morris, the rookie.
Jim Morris,
yeah,
the rookie for Tampa Bay.
Yep.
When he was on,
made a movie about him, of course, and he came out of the same high school, Brownwood High School in Abilene.
What is it with those Texas fireballers? Josh Beckett.
Yeah, there's always been a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Country hardball. They come at you. 3-0 to Reyes. Taking all the way. Of course, Reyes is a threat to steal. Melky Cabrera, the number 2 hitter, on deck if Reyes can keep the inning alive. That ball is down. That's the first base hit of the afternoon for the Blue Jays. Comes on a 3-1 pitch.
His mistake was not giving up the base hit. It was falling behind Jose Reyes, and he's been swinging a hot bat. He was on base 5 times last night. First time today, and you're right, with that ability to steal a base. We'll see this play out right now.
Especially with Melky Cabrera at the plate. He will take pitches. He's confident he can give Reyes a pitch or two to run. He is 12 for 13 in steal attempts this year. Remember, Yadier Molina is not catching this afternoon, and he shuts down the running game completely. Tony Cruz gave up a stolen base last night. Cruz has caught 1 of 3 base stealers. Reyes stole a base in the 8th, uncontested. They didn't cover. Off the glove of Allen Craig. Reyes can go to third. Melky Cabrera's heading to second, and he's going to make it. Second and third, 2 outs. Back-to-back 2-out base hits.
Craig came up with a great play last inning to rob Brett Laurie of a hit. This time, though, bounces off his glove, and it will go as a double. You can see Reyes take off, bounces off his glove, and that's away from Ellis. Out into no man's land in the right center field. Reyes can go to third, and Melky trots him to second base with a double.
Reyes watching that baseball bounce into the outfield and takes the turn around third and stops. So now Jose Bautista will come to the plate. Craig had that ball just tip off his glove. Reyes is at third base. Melky Cabrera is at second. Blake Eisling, the acting pitching coach, just had a quick meeting with Shelby Miller on the mound. Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, is away for the graduation of his daughter. So he's not with the club for today's game. So the right fielder, Jose Bautista, will bat. Second and third, 2 outs. Jays are down 1-0.
Made some good pitches today.
Sam Freeman, one of the 2 left-handers in the Cardinals' pen, loosening up. Ball on a strike. Miller ran into trouble in the 7th in Kansas City in his last start. You see Aaron Loop, he's just staying loose. He has warmed up already. .96 upstairs.
He's got plenty in the tank. Some of those pitches he has thrown in an inning this afternoon.
Bautista strikes out. That ends the Blue Jays' threat in the bottom of the 6th. Couple of 2-out hits. They leave a pair. Mark Buehrle going out for the 7th. bobblehead giveaway day. It's Sunday, June 8th, when the Cardinals and Blue Jays will wrap up this 3-game set. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. First 20,000 fans will receive a Jose Reyes bobblehead. Call the Jays at 416-341-1234 or log online at bluesjays.com and order your tickets for the Jose Reyes bobblehead giveaway day tomorrow. Mark Burley set to start the top half of the 7th. Number 8 hitter Peter Borges goes after the first pitch. Borges is a threat to bunt. He has 3 bunt singles this season. Always looking around at the infielders, making sure that there's not an opportunity to drop one down.
Yeah, you saw him take a quick glance at Juan Francisco there, but against a left-hander, right-handed batter against a left-handed thrower, swing away.
There is the option, but not with 2 strikes. He could have pushed one past Burley toward the second baseman with Laurie playing so deep, but that's not an option with 2 strikes. Pulls this one foul. Burley has allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. It was a solo home run by Randall Grichuk. His first big league home run came with 1 out in the 5th. There's a looper into center. That's going to drop in front of Anthony Gose. Borges with the big turn. Leadoff single here in the 7th. Number 9 hitter Tony Cruz, the catcher. Got to believe the Cardinals are thinking about adding a run here. Sacrifice bunt is in order.
That's what John Gibbons certainly thinks. Try to bunt it to the right side of the infield.
Borges can run.
Yeah, he can really run, and if it's bunted hard enough, you can take a shot at second base. You don't have to go over to first base to get that out.
Burley with another toss to check in on Peter Borges. Borges is 4 for 4 in steal attempts. Showing bunt, pulls the bat bounce. Cruz doesn't have a sacrifice bunt this season. This is just his 9th start of the year. Borges at first had 22 steals for the Angels in 2011. Run is pushed up the first base line. It's a good one. Lind will tag Cruz. Borges goes to second on the sacrifice. So 1 down. Borges at second base, checking out the outfield position. Matt Carpenter, the leadoff man, has gone 0 for 3 this afternoon. He's 0 for 6 in the series. For 6 has dropped his average 8 points since the start of this series. 1 out.
Told you last time that he was up, that he's got some pop, and that he had 55 doubles last year. That's a Cardinal team record for a left-handed batter. The team record is Ducky Medwick, who had 64 doubles one season. 55, that's a lot of doubles.
Fouls this one off, and he's had a tough time against Mark Burley. Burley's done a good job of using the entire strike zone and changing speeds.
Yeah, he's moved the ball around on him. Made some tough pitches. Had him last time swinging. Struck him out for the second time this afternoon.
Aaron Luke, the left-hander, is ready. Chad Jenkins has gotten up to get loose now. Burley ahead 0-2. Tapped out in front of home, but foul. Blue Jays have good arms in the outfield. Bautista threw out a runner at home plate in the first inning of last night's game. Melky Cabrera has 5 outfield assists. Bautista 6. Gose has 1. One and 2.
You can see Carpenter really giving that inside pitch to Mark Burley. He's looking for something out over the plate.
Ground ball. Lind at first. Bobbles it. He'll race to the bag and beat Carpenter. 2 down. The drive of the game is brought to you by the 2014 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 16 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's the only fly ball that has done something this afternoon. This is Randall Grichuk with his first big league home run, the only player to touch home plate this afternoon. With his first big league homer this afternoon's drive of the game.
So Grichuk is up with a man at third and 2 outs. Home run cut, and he swings right through it. Burley is up to 114 pitches.
And that is a season high for Mark Burley. John Gibbons trying to give him every opportunity to win this game.
He certainly earned that right. 10-1 coming into this ball game. This will probably be his last inning. Grichuk lays off that breaking ball down and in. One and 2, 2 outs.
Right now he's thinking, okay, how can I get this guy out? Last time he had a ball out over the plate for that home run. Maybe I can jam him.
He jammed him, but it's foul into the seats. Mark Burley is 10-1. Terrific start to his season. His career high in wins was in 2002. He won 19. Cut on and miss. Grichuk strikes out. Navarro will go to first to end the inning. Cardinals leave a man at third. Blue Jays trail by a run. It'll be Encarnacion, Lind, and Laurie when we come back. play Saturday, June 21st and Sunday, June 22nd. The local Bisons will take on the Rochester Red Wings. Special appearances by Blue Jays alumni Kelly Gruber and Fred McGriff. There are plenty of Blue Jays giveaways as well, so check out bisons.com for tickets. Great opportunity just across the border in a beautiful ballpark at Coca-Cola Field in downtown Buffalo. So check it out, the Blue Jays weekend in Buffalo. Well, Mark Burley more than likely is done for the day. 7 innings, 1 run on 5 hits, but he trails 1-0.
Time to get him some runs.
They got the right guys coming up to do that. This is popped back. Shelby Miller has pitched up in the zone very effectively all afternoon.
I thought Lance Lynn did the same thing yesterday against the Blue Jays. When he threw that high fastball, the Jays just couldn't get on top of it and hit the ball with authority. Same way this afternoon with Miller.
Bouncing ball. Carpenter at third. 1 down. Adam Lind has walked and grounded out. He was the first Blue Jays to reach base with 1 out of the 5th. Miller had retired 13 straight to start the game. Shelby Miller didn't give up a hit until 2 outs in the 6th. Then Reyes had a single into right, and Melky Cabrera had a double off the glove of the first baseman, Alan Craig. High fly ball to left. No problem for Randall Grichuk. 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Mark Burley done his job this afternoon, and he is done for the day more than likely. Brett Lawrie, he's got a 7-game hit streak at stake. High fly ball left field. Grichuk back at the wall, at the track. Another ball right to the edge of the track. Cardinals make the play. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. Shelby Miller has a 1-0 lead. He goes after the first pitch from Aaron Loop and grounds out to shortstop. One pitch, one out here in the 8th.
Aaron Loop on for the 28th time this season. He's put up some stellar numbers already this year. 2-1, a 243 earned run average. First time he has pitched since that Houdini act he had in Detroit.
One of the best we've seen this season. He inherited a bases loaded situation with nobody out, and he got out of it. Strikeout, pop up, and then had a clean inning the next 2 innings for Aaron Loop. Just 26 pitches in that inning. He saved the bacon for R.A. Dickey. Alan Craig, the first baseman, is 0 for 3. He has struck out and hit into a double play. Two and one.
Well, he has such a variance on his pitches in terms of miles per hour. Fastball, low 90s, 92, good days 93. Then he'll drop that changeup at 78, making it tough for hitters to track.
Line drive, and that's going to be over Bautista's head, and it bounces off the wall. Craig is headed for second. Here's the throw to second base. It's not in time. Alan Craig, he wears out that right field area. He drives the ball over Bautista's head for his 11th double of the season.
It's a good hitter. Good run producer. Can hit the ball all over the place. Watch how he stays inside the ball. Pitch that was over the middle of the plate. He stays in, and that's just a natural opposite field swing right there, and he drives it over Bautista's head. I thought Jose had a shot right there. But Craig hustles it for extra bases.
He just planted that right foot and slipped a little bit as he was getting set up to make that throw. So Johnny Peralta, they're going to put Peralta on. Deanna Navarro asking for the intentional pass. He got the attention of the infield, so they'll keep an eye on Craig at second. Rookie Oscar Taveras, the left-handed hitter, is next. So they put Peralta on. No matter how good the Blue Jays offense has been of late, you got to tip the cap to Sheldon Miller. What he's done today. He came out firing strikes, retired the first 13 he faced, walked Lynn in the 5th, only base runner to that point, and then gave up back-to-back 2-out hits, had runners at second and third, and bears back and strikes out Jose Bautista.
Yeah, and that's why it's imperative that the pitchers hold it to a 1-run game right here. Make a pitch, get out of this inning right here, and give your offense a chance to do something. They've got a deep and a very good bullpen, the Cardinals.
Especially when you get into the 8th and 9th.
Yeah.
Oscar Taveras has walked twice. He grounded into a double play his last time up. A 3-6-3 double play started by Lind at first. Taveras fouls it back.
Taveras voted the #1 prospect in the Cardinal organization, and they've had some good players the last couple of years. You mentioned it yesterday about the homegrown talent that the Cardinals have put out there.
Pulled on the ground. That's a base hit through the hole. They're going to stop the runner at third base. Craig stops at third, and Bautista throws a strike to Navarro at home. So Taveras gets his first hit of the afternoon. Peralta moves to second. Now the bases are loaded.
Stays right on that ball, that breaking ball from air loop. Watch how that shoulder stays down, the head straight down on the baseball. It's a good looking swing right there from a young player. No ground. He wasn't given any ground at the plate.
1 out, bases loaded. Mark Ellis, the second baseman. Goes after the first pitch and skips it past Alan Craig, the base runner at third.
Take your lead off in foul territory, but you better watch that hitter. Be pretty close after you take that secondary lead.
Just outside. That changeup just barely missed. Theoden Culberth is the home plate umpire. He has not been a topic of discussion all afternoon, so you know he's had a good day. Now 2-1. We mentioned the Cardinals have struggled batting with runners in scoring position all season long. Ellis has hit 3 career grand slams. He has a .314 average with the bases loaded.
Got a good approach at the plate right here. You can tell he's not trying to do too much.
Now it's 3-1. Bases full of Cardinals. They have a 1-0 lead. Ball 4. That'll force in a run. So Aaron Loop, who was terrific in his last outing, stranding the bases loaded with nobody out, walks in a run here in the 8th.
John Givens now pointing to the infield that we've got to go to the plate now. We can't take a chance that if he hits a ground ball double play, we go to second base for the double play. Borges runs too well. He wants the infield to come home.
Borges is a terrific bunter. Even with the infield drawn in, it might be a possibility. Not showing bunt, cut on and missed. Peralta is at third. Strike 2. It's a challenge to try to squeeze with the bases loaded, because you can get the force out at home, so it doesn't have to be perfect execution. Now with 2 strikes, that's not an option.
Infield's still going to play in on ground ball. They got to come home.
Borges strikes out. Loop with a good fastball right at the knees.
Looking for something off speed, and he throws a good pitch, surprises him. Right at the bottom of the strike zone. First strikeout of the afternoon for Aaron Loop.
Tony Cruz, the catcher, batting in the 9th spot. Had a sacrifice bunt his last time. The Blue Jays have had 7 walks today. They've walked 7 hitters, including 1 intentional. Base on balls has been a problem for the starters and for the bullpen. Overall, the Blue Jays are 13th in walks per 9 innings. They've walked almost 4 batters per 9 innings. There's a base hit to center field. Peralta's in to score. Right behind him is Taveras. Here's the throw. It kicks off the mound. A 2-run single for the catcher, Tony Cruz.
And those walks do come back to hurt you. Intentional walk to Peralta. He scored. Ellis with the base hit, or excuse me, the walk, and will go to third on this base hit by Cruz. Stayed inside that ball nicely. When the throw bounces twice off the mound, that allows that runner to score. Aaron Loup gets the first batter and then only gets one more batter over the next 6. So his afternoon is finished.
The fortunes of a reliever are up and down for sure. Steve Delabar will come out of the bullpen. 2 on, 2 outs. The Cardinals have taken a 4-0 lead. Aaron Loup retired the first batter of the inning on 1 pitch, and then it was a double, intentional walk and single. Bases loaded walk and then a 2-run single, and Steve Delabar takes over. Matt Carpenter 0 for 4 again this afternoon. 0 for 7 in the series. Runners at second and third. Mark Ellis at third. Tony Cruz at second. Like a pretty good pitch. Delabar didn't get the call. 2-0.
Not that I would champion that, but if he bunted a ball and got it by Steve Delabar, he might get 2 RBIs. Brett Laurie, the second baseman, is playing very deep at second, almost right field. You can see how deep he is on the right side of your shot there. Definitely one.
Yeah, it's interesting, and Laurie has played deep on an awful lot of these left-handed hitters. You can see where he is out in the shallow right. Generally, that positioning is reserved for guys like David Ortiz and Chris Davis, not for Matt Carpenter.
Not for somebody like Carpenter. He can spray the ball around. He's a really good hitter. Gosh, if you want to bunt one, you just get it by the pitcher. You get yourself an RBI and a hit.
Another walk. Again, that has been a concern for Steve Delabar and the bullpen as a whole. Burley walked 5. That ties his season high. Loup walked 2, 1 intentional. Now Delabar walks the first man he faced here in the 8th. Brandon Grichuk hit his first big league homer up early in the 5th. That was the only run of the game until this inning, the top half of the 8th. Ball on its strike. 2 outs. Blue Jays trying to end this inning. Cardinals have put up a 3 spot in the top half of the 8th. 3 runs on 2 hits. This is the 9th man to bat this inning. Matt Holliday grounded out on the first pitch of the inning.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be an easy inning after that. The double, intentional walk, another single, and another walk extended the inning.
3-1. Ball 4. Second bases loaded, walk of the inning. Grichuk has his second RBI of the afternoon. Pete Walker on the phone to the bullpen. Chad Jenkins was up earlier in the ball game. Ellis comes in to score. Bases remain loaded for Matt Holliday. He'll be the 10th man to bat this inning.
8th inning again. Remember that 8th inning in Minnesota where there were 8 walks. There's been 4 already again here in the 8th.
Holliday goes after the first pitch. Looked like a perfect opportunity for Luke to come in the game after that great outing in Detroit. 2 solid innings. He gave up a double, then walked Peralta, single to Taveras, and walked Ellis with the bases loaded. Holliday is behind 0-2.
Well, one good thing, he has sat around. Maybe he'll get tight.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, he's been very good this afternoon.
He's been great. Just 2 hits allowed to one of the best hitting teams in baseball. 0-2. Fly ball into center. This should end the inning. Holliday flies out to Ghost. Leaves the bases loaded, but the Cardinals score 4 in the top half of the 8th, taking a 5-0 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. It's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. content is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Good crowd on hand at Rogers Center on a beautiful Junior Jays Saturday. There are a lot of kids in attendance, and it's been a whale of a ball game. The Cardinals have scored 4 runs in the top half of this inning, and the Blue Jays have some work to do. It'll be Juan Francisco, Deanna Navarro, then Anthony Ghost, the scheduled hitters against Shelby Miller. Two hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Pretty efficient effort by Miller.
All in 81 pitches through 7 innings. He has used his fastball a lot and has put it in a good spot this afternoon.
Right back to Miller. Hot shot. He gloves it and tosses to first. 1 down.
And when he has needed a little extra, like that at bat against Jose Bautista back in the 6th inning, there's a little something extra left in that tank. Pumped it up there at 96 miles an hour in the upper parts of the strike zone to get Jose. He's only had 3 strikeouts this afternoon.
Yeah, very efficient. That's how he's able to keep his pitch count in control. Gianna Navarro, catcher. He's flying out twice to center field. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Acer, official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have gone 47 games without being shut out. That's the longest such streak in the major leagues. Good rip by Navarro. He fouls it straight back. Last time the Blue Jays were shut out, it was April 17th in Minnesota. They lost that game 7-0. Kyle Gibson with 8 innings of 4-hit shutout ball.
Healing that day just like Shelby Miller is today. Hard throw right-hander.
Navarro does a good job to cover that outside pitch. Tomorrow will be the series finale. It'll be Jaime Garcia, the left-hander, against Drew Hutchison. Tomorrow afternoon. It all starts at 1:07 p.m. Pre-game show is at 12:30, so make sure you check that out. Minnesota will be in town beginning Monday night for a 3-game series. It'll be Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon game is 12:37. There's Jaime Garcia, who will start tomorrow's game.
Left-hander, so there'll be a little bit of a change to the Blue Jay lineup tomorrow afternoon.
Strike 3 call. Navarro had a pretty good look at it. Thought it was off the plate outside.
And I think what he's saying to the home plate umpire, hey, I had my pitcher last inning throw a couple pitches just like that, and they were not called a strike. Now I'm hitting, and I thought that ball was off the plate, and he's surprised that ball called a strike.
Yeah, he stayed on that pretty well. He had a pretty good look at it outside. It's a strikeout, second out of the inning, 4th of the afternoon for Miller. Miller has retired the side in order 4 times this afternoon.
Boy, he's still pumping it in there, isn't he? He gets great leg drive from his lower half, right on line towards home plate. Takes all the pressure off of your arm.
Shelby Miller has lost his last 3 decisions at Cincinnati, at home against the Yankees, and at home against the Royals. Prior to that, he had won 5 straight decisions. Couple of strikeouts in the inning. The Blue Jays go down in order in their half of the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. The Cardinals shutting out the Blue Jays. Todd Redmond into the game. By Hungry Man. Try new pulled pork.
Couple of runners on for the Cardinals in the 4th inning, and Mark Ellis is going to lift the fly ball in foul territory. Adam Lynn goes over, stays right with it. He was battling the sun. He was battling the fans. Comes up with this afternoon's play of the day. A pop-up in foul territory. Nice play.
Lynn has played last 2 games at first base. New pitcher into the game is Todd Redmond, making his 16th appearance.
Last time that he was in the game, it was a week ago when he picked up the save with 3 very good innings against Kansas City. 3 innings, 4 hits, a walk, and 3 punch-outs to pick up his first save this year.
First save of his career in that 12-2 ball game. He did a nice job. Pitched 3 1/3. Misses with that first pitch. Alan Craig got a pivotal hit in the 8th. Hit a 1-out line drive double over Bautista's head. Bounced off the wall in right. Boy, he is shooting everything to right field, isn't he?
Everybody should move over to right field. He's staying inside the ball. You can see how he's really trying to shoot it to right field. That's why he's a good RBI guy. Can hit the ball all over the field.
Pulls this one. Reyes backhands and misses it. Craig will jog up the line, and Reyes went with a backhand. It was underneath his glove. He's going to have plenty of time. Craig doesn't run that well.
He's got a little bit too quick. Right there. Didn't get the glove down, and he'll be charged with an error.
His 6th error of the season. That starts the 9th inning for the Cardinals. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. Two and 0. Blue Jays started play this afternoon. 14 games over 500 at 38-24. Had 19 wins at home, 19 wins on the road. Two and one. Popped up over near the Cardinals dugout. Back behind the dugout, out of play. For breaking news, stats, stories, and score, follow us on Twitter at Sportsnet. You can find out everything that is going on the moment it happens.
Not just here, but everywhere around baseball. Is that where you get a lot of your information?
Me? No.
You just have all the contacts and everything, right? You hear it right from the horse's mouth.
You know, you look around baseball, and I thought it was interesting last night. The emotion got a little out of hand in Baltimore last night between the A's and the Orioles. Manny Machado took exception to a tag by the third baseman Josh Donaldson. And then Wei-Yin Chen hit Donaldson with a pitch in his next at bat. I thought that was a little uncalled for. But the Yankees starting to make a little push. They're 2 games over 500. Oakland's got a 5.5 game lead in the AL West. Biggest surprise to me might be the Milwaukee Brewers, 5.5 games ahead. And we'll see the Brewers later on in July. They'll be here for 2 games.
2 two-game series. One here and one in Milwaukee. They've sustained it, haven't they?
I think the biggest surprise for me individually for a player has been Michael Morse. Gone back to San Francisco in the National League. He has 41 RBIs. He is 5th in the National League in RBIs. And he's 5th in home runs. He just wasn't getting it done in the American League.
Pitching and power. That's what's gone on with the San Francisco Giants. First team to win 40. The Giants.
Giants are 40-21. They have an 8.5 game lead over the Dodgers. Two and one to Oscar Taveras. He singled and scored in the 8th. You like Taveras' swing?
Yeah, it's a classic left-handed swing, isn't it? Gets out there. He's hit for average in the minor leagues. He's hit for power in the minor leagues. #1 prospect, voted the best tools in the Cardinals organization. Tools being running, hitting for power, throwing arm.
His father was here last night. I'm sure he's here again this afternoon. Taveras spent some of his teenage years in Montreal. He was there from the age 12 to 16. He grew up in the Dominican Republic and then returned and signed with the Cardinals as a 16-year-old. Played his first professional season in the Dominican Summer League when he was 17.
Would have been here earlier, I think, but he sustained an ankle injury last year that put him on the shelf a long time.
Had surgery eventually after that high ankle sprain, and he only had 4 at-bats in this spring training. Takes a big wild swing, and he strikes out. Fans, we want to remind you that the 2014 MLB All-Star Game is Tuesday, July 15th at Target Field in Minnesota. Help make Jose Bautista, Jose Reyes, Melky Cabrera, and Edwin Encarnacion starters for the American League. Fans are allowed to vote a maximum of 35 times per email address. Vote early, vote often, and vote at BlueJays.com. Edwin Encarnacion is trailing in the DH voting, so make sure you log online and vote. He needs to be the winner of that DH position. Jose Bautista and Melky Cabrera were 2nd and 3rd, respectively, in the outfield voting. Cast your vote for Jose Reyes as well and get these Blue Jays to start the All-Star game. There's a pop into the outfield. Anthony Ghost, the center fielder, takes charge, and Mark Ellis is retired. We will go to the 9th. Shelby Miller looking for his second career shutout will face Jose Reyes, then Melky Cabrera and Jose Bautista. Top of the order in the ninth.
Cardinals, Blue Jays, tomorrow on Sportsnet.
It will be the series finale tomorrow. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern Time. That'll be the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Make sure you check it out. We'll be right after that, top of the hour. Shelby Miller has pitched to Jim here this afternoon.
Trying to finish off the Blue Jays and pick up his first complete game of the season. Stop that 3-game losing streak.
It would be his second career complete game. Second career complete game shutout. The other shutout came in 2013, May 10th at St. Louis against the Colorado Rockies. Pitched a one-hitter.
That was the game where he gave up a hit to the first batter and then retired 27 in a row. That was that game. Yikes.
Tired of 27 to finish it. Eric Young got the first hit, struck out 13, didn't walk a batter. Fly ball into center. Peter Borges has been ranging all over this field. One down. Now it's time for a preview of what's coming up next on Connected. Here's Jamie Thomas. Thank you, Jamie. That'll follow this game right after final out of the ball game. Melky Cabrera had an odd double his last time up that went off the glove of the first baseman, Alan Craig, and trickled into center field. He ended up at second base with a double. That was the second hit in the sixth. Reyes had singled with 2 outs in the sixth for the first hit of the game, and then Melky Cabrera got the second and right behind Reyes.
Yeah, only at that time it was a 1-0 game. A base hit would have put the Blue Jays up.
Melky Cabrera, another 2-hit game. Melky Cabrera now with 23 multi-hit games. That's one off the league pace. There are 4 American League hitters that have combined to hit 24 multi-hit games. Jose Bautista. Shelby Miller maybe made the pitch of the game when he struck out Bautista to end that 6th inning.
2 high heaters. High fastballs. Reached back for a little something extra and got Jose to swing at him. Close enough to the strike zone, and Jose's been doing a great job recognizing pitches and laying off those borderline pitches, but they're right at the top of the strike zone, about 95, 96. To get Bautista, that was back in the 6th inning.
The Blue Jays, as we mentioned earlier, have not been shut out in 47 games. That's the longest active streak in the majors. .102 pitches now for Shelby Miller, and he has been in command all afternoon. That's Trevor Rosenthal on the left and Pat Neshek on the right. Rosenthal is the closer. Popped back over the screen, out of play. Miller has done a good job of using that fastball right at the upper limits of the strike zone.
Jays just haven't been able to get on top of it, do anything with it, and then he always comes back down with something down lower, changing the eye level of the Blue Jay batters. Something down, either a fastball or a breaking ball.
Line to left, but there is Grichuk. Bautista hit it right on the nose, but right at the left fielder. Jays are down to their last out. Bautista has an 11-game hit streak. It looks like it might be, God, it might be over here. 12-game hit streak. 0 for 4 this afternoon. This should do it. High pop. Matt Carpenter makes the call. That's the ball game. Shelby Miller shuts out the Blue Jays on just 3 hits. That evens the series at a game apiece. Miller's second career complete game shutout. The play for the series tomorrow. Stay tuned. Connected coming right up. Here's Jamie Thomas. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.